The year was 2000. Bill Gates, the world's latest billionaire playboy, was riding high on the success of Microsoft. His next venture? A box that plays games.
I'm not using this thing.
It had never been done before. Like all genius billionaires, he set out to reach his goal by ordering his employees to figure it out. The first step was to come up with the perfect name. The name needed to be creative, original, and enticing. What did they come up with? The Direct Xbox.
No. Somebody's confused.
So at this point, things were going great. They had a name. They had other things. But it wasn't all easy going. On Valentine's Day 2000, the team gathered to meet with Bill Gates. At first, the meeting went about as well as any unnecessary meeting does. But there was a serious problem. Bill Gates wanted the console to run on Windows. Because, well, that was his thing. But these pathetic underlings wanted the system to have its own operating system. Gates lost his freaking mind. He saw the very suggestion of using a different operating system as an insult to everything he had ever done.
He's certainly passionate.
The entire team thought this was the end. The fate of the Direct Xbox seemed to be doomed by this unhinged billionaire. That is, until a bystander at the meeting, some dude with no decision-making power, probably an intern, said, what about Sony? The PlayStation hadn't even occurred to the billionaire in the room, prompting him to ask, and I quote, "Yeah, what about Sony?" Then, silence. The fate of the Xbox was hanging in the balance. What did Bill Gates say? "Okay, I'll give you whatever you want." With that bizarre experience over, they moved on to the prototype stage. Unfortunately, the final product was more box than X. But who cares when you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on board to sell you this plastic box? And the chemistry between The Rock and Bill Gates could only be described as electric. The future president had spoken. And just like that, the Xbox was a reality. And it came with some heavy hitters. Halo, Knights of the Old Republic, Morrowind, Fable, and best of all, Shenmue 2.
Oh, hello, Wang-san. Huh?
The Xbox was a success. Well, in the United States. Everywhere else, not so much. While the Xbox couldn't come anywhere close to the PS2, it did offer something brand new to gaming: online multiplayer.
Let's play!
For the first time, gamers were able to connect with other gamers without leaving their homes. And that resulted in some of the best social interactions that humans have to offer.
You shut up when I'm talking to you!
This is where Xbox's main exclusive really shined.
Halo Combat Evolved.
Halo's multiplayer maps and game modes are among the best out there. But Halo was more than just online multiplayer. It had an iconic storyline and hero, fluid first-person gameplay, local split-screen co-op, and a naked computer lady.
Damn girl, ooh la la.
Meanwhile,
The engineers at Microsoft were already hard at work on their next console. The goal was to release it an entire year before those bastards at Sony could finish the PS3. Sure, it would push the engineers to the limit, but it was the only way to gain the upper hand in the console war. What could possibly go wrong with that plan? But what to call it? The answer? Xbox 360. It was perfect. The kids loved their skate parks, and the 360 was supposed to do everything in entertainment. Music, movies, games. And what better way to launch than have a 30-hour party in the Mojave Desert? Gamers from around the world gathered together to party in a modest 200,000 square foot hangar.
Yeah, bitch!
It had everything. 360s for everyone. Beanbag chairs. Cheetos and Mountain Dew for as far as the eye could see, which was on the other side of the hangar. You could see the wall. The Xbox 360's launch was shaping up to be perfect, and it was ready a year before the PS3. Microsoft definitely proved they'd come a long way from being just a software-only company. The Red Ring of Death. When the ring appears, you'll be in tears. If this thing ever showed up on your 360, that was it. Dead. No one was safe. All over the internet, people were sharing their frustrations about the ring. Sure, you could contact customer support, but Microsoft had no idea what the problem was, so you'd be put on eternal hold.
Please hold while I transfer you.
And then what? I thought myself!
Fearing a gamer mutiny, Microsoft spent over $1 billion trying to replace the dead consoles and redesign the 360 so it would, work. The silver lining in it all is that Sony was so overconfident they literally charged $200 more than the 360. The 360 and PS3 eventually ended up tying each other in sales. At this point, Microsoft was riding high on a newfound sense of confidence. They had no idea how bad things were about to get. So while Xbox and PlayStation duked it out, Nintendo was living in fantasy land, casually dominating the market with the Wii. Normal people becoming gamers? Nintendo could not be allowed to get away with this. The competition mobilized to learn the secret to Nintendo's success. PlayStation made their rep off. Xbox, though, they needed something unique. Introducing the Kinect.
Goggles.
Instead of a controller, you do this. Instead of playing a game, you stare at a tiger. Instead of having fun, you question your life choices. Now, with no controller, you might be thinking that you just look like an idiot waving your arms around in front of your TV. And you'd be right.
Look at the water.
Every Xbox was bundled with a Kinect, making it more expensive than the PS4. The exact pricing mistake that Sony made with the PS3. So they forced you to buy a Kinect with an Xbox. Game sharing was made illegal, and you needed to connect to Xbox servers to do anything. Microsoft thought they were Heisenberg, when in reality they were just regular old Walter White. Like Season 1 Walter White. PlayStation 4 sold twice as many units as the Xbox One. Microsoft was left in the dust again. What's their new strategy? Game Pass, a subscription service for gaming. Which is great, especially if you enjoy paging through hundreds of games. Play a handful for a few hours and then never find time to play them again. What really sells a console, though, is the exclusives. They make you feel like you've entered the VIP room, only you're in your living room, playing a video game. At 3 a.m. Alone. PlayStation has God of War, Last of Us, Spider-Man, the list goes on and on and on. Xbox does well with some of the smaller titles, but their flagship franchises have fallen off. Halo was the heart and soul of Xbox, but Halo's not feeling so well. And after all this time, all the mistakes that have been made, to hold fans over during this dry spell, we've been getting more promises.
Yes, we're still hard at work on our next-gen RPGs, Starfield, and of course, Elder Scrolls 6.
Xbox, record that.
Thousands of Xbox games are in development for you right now.
You're such a liar.